Part two, I think that karma is a big factor in life. And the meaning of karma to me is what comes around goes around. It's kind of like if you've done something to cause a big reaction in outside people, outside forces, then you would have to experience it from the other point of view. Like, you would have to get into somebody else's shoes and experience life. Experience that experience as they did. So the simple example of karma is that if you are guilty of killing someone, then you're going to have to die that way. Because that's the only way you would learn and experience what that was like. It's a very striking example, but it can come to the matter of benefit too, because that's called good karma. That if you do somebody a favor, like a big favor, they would have to turn around and do that for you, so you can experience what that's like, having something done for you. So I think it does complete itself after a while, but it always will lead into more possibilities and then generate further karma. So it's an ongoing movement of energy, I guess you could say. And life is about energy going through individual bodies and having different combinations of expression. And I think altogether it can be interpreted as the body of the God. But God is one of those terms that is so loaded that you cannot really use it to be sure of what anyone else is talking about. You can't, because it can mean so many things. And one of the key things about God that I believe is it comes down to very private knowledge. It's within a person to know what God is. And if they don't want to know, then that's also their experience. If they deny it, then they're closing themselves off from the concept or the knowing of God. So it's a God experience. And if a person uses the excuse that you can't prove God, and therefore I don't believe in God, because I haven't proven it to myself, so I don't want to, and I'm going to totally close off that aspect or that level of life. It's a sector of experience, the religious experience, or the epiphany, or spirituality is another very general, far-reaching term of experience. Therefore, people are not really seeing the bigger picture. They're being very isolated from a whole range of reality. They're cut off. So that's what happens for a lot of atheists. I understand atheists. In fact, I am someone who promotes atheism as a choice, as something that can be experienced. But I've also challenged atheists to admit, confess to why they think the way they do, and they usually don't. So I'm a very different atheist, and I've been attacked by a lot of atheists for putting on my videos. There's a particular channel that I use, and there's some other channels where I have videos that are very much like an attack on atheism. And you can call it trolling, you can call it whatever you want, but if you take this as a body of work, a performance that I've done, it shows you in a kind of a comical manner, because, people were onto that. A lot of people commented, and this is where I haven't written back to many, many, many people. I just didn't have the time. And there's literally, like, more than 1,000 people. And I appreciate the comments about, there's no way for me to get to that. I have to write out books and books and books more than I would have time to do any videos. And it's just not my style. I'd rather do a video. But in the case of this series, it's the atheist bashing theme. And what I'm just trying to do is point it out to the more closed-minded or ignorant or bandwagon atheists, what they're really doing. I'm not denying that they have oftentimes a valid approach to reality, but what I am doing, there's a dog that's afraid of the storm. He's just coming over. Get away. So it brings up a thing about get away. That's not the dog barking, it's another dog. There's several dogs. So this brings up an idea about animals, so let me do part 3 on the animals.